Hi, welcome to Plex. I am Sammy. I'm your host, creator, editor, producer, statistician, promote, producer, and I write all my own programs. I've been getting a lot of news from my Gmail, Sammy Williams 1161966 at gmail.com. My Yahoo account, Sammy underscore Williams Jr. at yahoo.com. And I'm getting a lot of comments. Why being? Why don't I upload videos anymore? Why they hear audios from time to time, usually every other week? Have Videoplex left the arena? Is Videoplex a thing of the past? No. I had prior priorities to take care of. Now Videoplex is back. You can now say Videoplex is back in the saddle again. We're riding high. Yet another police shooting in the very infamous state of Minnesota. We all know George Floyd case that just blew the lid wide open worldwide. It was overproduced as George Floyd resisted arrest and changed the lives of Derek Chavez. A Minneapolis, Minnesota police officer that just put on a uniform, kissed his wife goodbye, and their life as they know have never been the same because that one fatal arrest that went bad on George Floyd. Now the lady that was in the car with George Floyd, in my opinion, looked like a transvestite, but I'm not prejudiced against transvestites. I'm not a prejudice against you or anyone else. People just make Videoplex, this propaganda podcast. The world calm just love, but the people in Glasgow, Scotland just love. But now the lady that was in the van with George Floyd said, after passing the counterfeit bill trying to buy a pack of cigarettes, George Floyd witnessed at the van and fell asleep. That's very unusual. That's just like me going to a Circle K or a Speedway, passing a counterfeit bill, and then sit behind the steering wheel and fall asleep. It's another event that took place the 11th day of April 2021 in the very famous state of Minnesota. Minnesota cop to be charged with second-degree murder manslaughter in a fatal shooting of Dayton. Right. Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. A prosecutor said Wednesday that he will charge a white former suburb Minneapolis police officer with second-degree murder manslaughter for killing 20-year-old black motorist Dayton Wright in a shooting that initial interrogated influenced days of unrest and clashes between protesters and police. The charge against former Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Porter will be filed Wednesday, 3 days after Wright was killed during a traffic stop. And as the nearby murder trial progressed for ex-officer charged with the killing of Kevin Floyd last May in Washington County, attorney Pete Orput said. The former Brooklyn Center police chief has said that Porter, a 26-year veteran and training officer, attempted to use her taser on Wright but fired her handgun instead, when tasers are usually on one side and handguns on the other side. Your firearm is usually on your more dominant side. I am more dominant from my right than I am from my left, so my handgun will be on my right and my taser will be on my left. Intended to use her taser on Wright, but fired her handgun instead. And you can hear in the videos her saying, I shot him, I shot him, I shot him. However, prosecutors and Wright's family members said there's no excuse for the shooting, and it shows how the justice system is against blacks. Nothing Wright was stopped for expired car registrations and ended up dead. Well, if I drive with expired tags on my car, I'm gonna get stopped by a police officer. I will be arrested, and my car will be impounded. So why do people get free passes? Why do people get free passes? Why should one person get a free pass and the next person don't? If I go out right now and get stopped with no auto insurance, certain police officer will arrest me and impound my vehicle. It's the law. Intended isn't a necessary compound of second-degree murder and manslaughter in Minnesota. The charge, which carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison, can be applied in circumstances where a person is suspect of causing a death by incompetent neglect that creates an unreasonable risk, take chances to cause the death of a person. After how he arrived at the charging decision, Oput said, he's an attorney, I think it would be evidence when you read the complaint, which was not yet available. Porter, the officer, was 48 years old, was arrested Wednesday morning at her Bureau of Criminal Investigation up in Hastings in St. Paul, Minnesota. Her attorney did not immediately respond to the messages from the Associated Press. Porter and Police Chief Tim Gannon both resigned Tuesday, 2 days following the shooting. Concrete barricades and tall metal fences have been set up around Ms. Porter's home in Chapel North of Brooklyn Center, with police cars guarding the driveway. After George Floyd death last year, protesters demonstrated several times at the home of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis officer now on trial for the death of George Floyd. Police say Wright was pulled over for expired tags on Sunday, but they sought to arrest him after discovering he had an outstanding warrant. That warrant alone is enough to arrest anyone for. This black civil rights attorney, who's also a millionaire, he get rich off these cases, Ben Crump, I think that's his name, is saying, well, if you have a warrant on you, you don't have a right to do anything but give a person a ticket and let them go. No. An arrest warrant is an arrest warrant in Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Virginia, or California. You have a warrant out for your arrest for failing to appear in court. You're going to be arrested. Why do one person get a free pass and the next person don't? Body cameras, videos that Gannon released Monday shows Porter approaching Wright as he stood outside his car as another officer is arresting him. As Wright struggles, he put up a fight. They call it resisting arrest. Resisting arrest is when you do not let a law officer do his job. If I fight a law officer right now, he's going to cough a bag up and try to put me on the ground and hold me. They actually don't understand what I'm doing. I'm fighting an officer of the law. He can charge me with resisting arrest. As Wright struggles with police, Porter shouts, I will tease you. I will tease you. Teaser, 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 before firing a single shot from her handgun. Wright family attorney Ben Crump said the criminal case, but he again disputed that the shooting was accidental, arguing that an experienced officer knew the difference between a teaser, and a handgun. Kim Porter executed Dayton Wright for what amount to no more than a minor traffic infraction and a misdemeanor warrant, he said. Experts say cases of officers mistakenly firing their guns instead of teaser are rare, usually less than once a year nationwide. Not the officer afraid. Not the person who was just stopped, who's fighting a police officer, is not a criminal. Not if there's a lot of things happening in the news right now between race. Not if he caught her off guard and she was afraid for the safety of her officers and herself. Not if she was saying he was acting very suspicious and very strange. And arrest for my teaser, I pulled my handgun out. I don't even know officer put on a uniform every morning and going out and kill someone. Just because they're the opposite color of me. Or religious. Or preferred gender. Porter was an instructor with the Brooklyn Center Police. according to the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association. She was training two other officers when they stopped right. The association leaders, Bill Peters, told the Minnesota Star Tribune. In her one paragraph letter of resignation, Porter said, I have loved every minute of being a police officer and serving this community to the best of my ability. But I believe in the best interest of the community, the department, and my fellow officers if I resign immediately. Brooklyn Center Mayor Mike Elliott, who's also an African American, said Tuesday he hoped Porter's resignation would bring some calm to the community, but that he would keep working towards full accountability under the law. It's bad enough that police officers have tough, difficult jobs, not mentioning that they're underpaid, understaffed, overworked, underrespected, and underappreciated unless something happened. If I went up right now and robbed someone, the first thing the person I would say that I robbed with their family is, where are the polices? When we need them. They're trying to make a routine traffic stop, and the person that they're trying to stop is put up a fight in a struggle of their life. It won't let them do their job. A routine traffic stop is this. I am driving down Greenwich, leaving Miami, Ohio, going to Perrysburg, and I see lights in my rearview mirror, and I pull over. And the officers, as he approached my vehicle, I let my window down on the driver's side. And if it's a second officer, I let down the window on the passenger side. I'm reaching for my glove box for my registration and my insurance, and my license is in my wallet. The officer will say, do you know why I stopped you? I'll say no, but I hope you're having a good day. That's a routine traffic stop. Police officers have seconds to read a person, body language, and their movements. This report I just read was not the exact report that was reported Monday, Tuesday of this week. They say Mr. Young Wright, who was just 20 years old, just a boy to me. I was 20 years old so long ago. He was just a boy. He jumped into the vehicle and started screaming, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. One report even had his mother who was white, his father was a black man. So he was a biracial child. We have a lot of those here in America. Said that he was talking to his mother on the phone, asking for the car title and registration and other information because his mother just gave him the car 2 days ago. The officer stopped him for some kind of scented incense air fresheners he had hanging from his rearview mirror. So the whole story was not reported. In my opinion, I was not in Minnesota. I never visited the state of Minnesota before, but I heard Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the Minnesota area is beautiful. I think that he drove past a police officer. He had his girlfriend in the front seat with him. And the police officer just happened to run his text because he maybe was going at high speed or swerving. I'm guessing. Because it's more to the story than what they're saying, that he's changing the story around. Now, some of the reports say he had his 1.5-year-old son in the backseat, and the very evil Kim Porter, the 26-year veteran, just pulled a gun out and shot one time and said, teaser, teaser, teaser. Oh God, I shot him. I don't believe that at all. The baby was not in the backseat. That's why the same reports that said that never could find, never proved it was a child in the backseat. Because there's other people that can prove the child was not in the backseat. Most likely the mother was watching the child. The child was not in the vehicle. They're trying to make this story more hype. The officers now is firing at 1.5-year-old children. These evil people that patrol the streets are now shooting at kids, toddlers, babies. He drove a block or two before crashing a vehicle and dying on the spot. His girlfriend that was in the front seat also received injuries, but they were not life-threatening injuries because she was also in the hospital released. He was arrested also, I read other reports, a year ago when he was 19 years old for driving a vehicle with a loaded firearm, a loaded gun. No CCW, no license, no permit to carry that handgun. That was loaded. Officers did not know if he had a concealed weapon in the vehicle or on his body. Miss Porter just knew when she approached him, he was fighting police officers not to be arrested. Stop making every arrest on a black person racist. Stop making everything that happened to a black person prejudice. For some reason, the United States of America is bringing themselves down to an even lower level than what they are. Why do you always lie that blacks are targeted by other races? When they're these very peaceful, happy people that always love and agree with things, we just never give it a chance. I was watching the AARP commercial. And they have an older black lady during the AARP. She's a very loud spoken old black lady. Since she's not in her 50s, who told you I was in my 50s? I'm in my 30s, I'm 35 years old. And until she heard the discount, she was very loud and just laughing real loud. Sign me up, AARP. Because blacks are these very laid back, happy people. We're very happy and peaceful. People just don't give us a chance. No, you're very loud, you're very riot, you're very violent. You're the one that move in neighborhoods. They say the white fight was someplace else, and the neighborhoods go down. Stop trying to build yourself up as something that you're not. I don't like reading Twitter or Facebook or Instagram because the first thing people say is, being a black male in the United States of America, you have things against you for just being black. You're wrong 100%. You have more opportunities and a better chance than anyone else in the United States of America because of your civil rights laws. People will say civil rights is for everyone. But on line one say blacks, African Americans, colors, or Negroes, whatever name you want to say. Civil rights laws was made for protection of black Americans. And somewhere down the line, other nationalities and races and transgenders and homosexuals was threw into the civil rights bills. But those was built to protect black Americans. And the President of the United States, Joe Biden, is on the other side of the world right now. Not physically, but verbally. Telling other nations how they should live. Telling other nations that we are the most freest, beautiful country in the whole world. And this stuff that you're hearing about police shooting in the United States of America is twice as bad in other nations. Show me one report from Poland or Romania or the Ukraine. Show me one report from Russia, Lithuania, Sweden, or Scotland of police shooting on citizens. I can drive a car right now down to 401 in Canada. Oh, Canada. And if an OPP or Royal Canadian Mountain Police stop me right now, it's very rare. Very, very rare. It won't be a routine traffic stop. These events that we're living is what America kept behind closed doors for so many years. Now those doors are wide open. And when you hear someone cry, when you hear someone say, America is not what it all made out to be, they are telling you of years of suffering that behind the doors of the United States of America. People have been living for years. This is nothing new here in America. This is America, people. Love it or leave it. But if you really think you leave your countries and come to the Americas, New York City, California, Boston, Mass, and Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois, and live in paradise, you have another day is coming. You have to pick and choose where you shop. Because we have an immigrant race here they call Arabics that usually own small chains of party store, and when it's time to pay income taxes, another Arab is standing behind the counter saying we're the new managers and new owners. And when it's time for them to pay income taxes, it's another Arab standing behind The counter said, we're the new masters, we're the new owners. Or the store might just happen to burn down overnight. My name is Sammy. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment on Sammy Videoplex and Sammy Videoplex Audio, where major podcasters are heard. And you know what? I miss them videos. I miss you about as much as you miss me. Videoplex is back on the saddle again. I hope you enjoy my upload. I hope you enjoy Videoplex, and please do me a favor. Join the Videoplex family and subscribe to my YouTube channel. From the zone, the Videoplex zone, I am Sammy James Williams Jr., the creator, host, statistician, producer, writer, and star of Videoplex. It all got started years ago with Ross Serling, the Twilight Zone. People wearing masks to cover their faces. What Ross Serling was talking about in the 50s and 60s. In 2020, people start wearing masks to cover their faces for this pandemic we call the coronavirus, the resurface of the coronavirus. Things that happened in the past only resurfaced to happen in the future. See you in the zone, the Videoplex zone, the Virginia, and Papa.